We talk a lot about AI being all about code and algorithms, but really, it's about control. So today, we're going to dig into the human side of AI security. We're using the CompTIA SecAI Plus curriculum as our guide to build the essential rulebook every organization needs to manage its AI before it starts managing them.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a big question. We hear all this stuff about super complex threats to AI, right? Like hackers tricking models or designing these crazy attacks to fool them. But what do you think is the single biggest security risk out there? And the answer, believe it or not, is actually pretty simple. It's us. Yeah. According to the security experts, the weakest link in the entire AI chain isn't some flaw in the code, it's just simple human error. Things like poor configurations, not enough oversight, or just not having policies in the first place. You could have the most advanced model in the world, and one simple mistake can bring it all down.
And that is exactly why structure is so critical. It's totally non-negotiable. Without a clear, well-defined framework, a company isn't really managing its AI at all. It's just reacting to problems as they pop up. So this is where we need to move from a place of vulnerability to a position of real control.
So how do we build that structure? Well, it all rests on three main pillars that have to work together. First, you need a central team to lead the charge. Second, a set of high-level rules to guide everybody. And third, detailed instructions to actually put those rules into practice.
Our first pillar? Well, it all starts with the people. It's about creating something called an AI Center of Excellence, or COE. Think of it as the central command, the AI brain trust for the entire organization.
And notice that key phrase in there, cross-functional. This is so important. A COE is not just your IT department, and it's not just a bunch of data scientists locked in a room. It's a true brain trust that pulls in experts from all across the company to make sure there's complete oversight.
So what does this brain trust actually do all day? Well, its job is absolutely critical. They handle standardization, which prevents something called shadow AI, and that's a huge problem. It's when different teams start using their own unapproved AI tools, creating massive security holes. The COE also handles training. They vet third-party vendors like OpenAI or Anthropic. And maybe, most importantly, they provide ethics oversight to make sure the models are fair and transparent.
So who's on the team? Well, you've got your AI program manager who's focused on the big picture strategy and the return on investment. You have the data scientists who are in the trenches building the actual models. But, and this is key, you also have security engineers focused purely on defense, and legal officers making sure everything follows the rules like the EU AI Act. This creates a really healthy tension. The data scientists want to move fast and innovate, while legal makes sure they do it safely. Everybody gets a seat at that table.
All right, so once you have the team in place, you need the rulebook. And that brings us to our second pillar, formal AI policies. Think of these as the high-level guardrails that prevent the really big disasters, like an employee accidentally feeding sensitive company data into a public AI.
Every solid AI rulebook needs these key sections. For example, an acceptable use policy needs to state crystal clear, you will never input customer data or company secrets into public models, period. An incident response policy has to lay out exactly what to do if an AI starts generating harmful or weird content. These aren't just suggestions, they are firm, non-negotiable rules.
Okay, so we've got the right people and we've got the right rules, but how do we make sure those rules are actually followed day in and day out? That's where our third and final pillar comes in. Standard operating procedures, or SOPs.
Now, this distinction is probably the most important takeaway here. A policy is the what. It's the high-level rule. It might say, we will not deploy biased AI models. An SOP, on the other hand, is the how. It's the literal, step-by-step checklist the tech team uses to test for that bias before the model ever sees the light of day. One is the rule, the other is the action plan.
And these SOPs, they cover the entire life cycle of an AI model. A validation SOP isn't a suggestion. It is a mandatory checklist before launch. It asks things like, have we tested this thing against adversarial attacks? Have we scanned all its parts for vulnerabilities? Then a monitoring SOP keeps an eye out for model drift, which is just the natural tendency for an AI's performance to get worse over time. And finally, there's a plan for safely retiring a model and deleting its data when you're done, making sure nothing sensitive gets left behind.
So, when you put all three of these pillars together, the center of excellence, the policies, and the SOPs, you get this fundamental shift in how you operate. You create a system that is proactive, not reactive. And this quote from the source material, it just sums up the payoff perfectly.
You stop running around putting out fires caused by people misusing the tech or making configuration mistakes. Instead, you build a fortress, a proactive and secure system that's designed to prevent those fires from ever starting in the first place.
So that really just leaves us with one final question to think about. Look at how AI is being used in your world. Is it built on a solid foundation of people, policies, and procedures? Or is everyone just fighting fires? The answer to that question could literally be the difference between innovation and disaster.